and go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Call 24 hours, 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. You can bet your life on eFoods Direct.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Coming up, Hank Williams Jr. has released a song about getting fired from the NFL. More of this Soviet-style censorship. We're going to play part of that. We got Adam Kokesh joining us, who's caught more devastating video. The Occupy America for Sovietism movement. That's more and more becoming that. We tried to stop it and had some success getting in the Fed mixed in, but they now see that as vampires that see high noon. I want to salute, and I will be going up there myself, or at least sending reporters up there, as I promised to do this weekend. There have been upwards of 20 people, sometimes it's only 5 or 6, continually occupying the Dallas head branch of Region 11. And they are getting attention in the news up in Dallas. And they've had another big rally yesterday, I'm told, up in Dallas that got some attention. So great job. I think I'm going to send, I've got limited reporters is the problem. We don't have enough people. We don't have enough funds to have enough reporters to really do what we could be doing. I'm not complaining, just please support us. We get enough PrisonPlanet.tv members we can. Videos, Occupy the Fed, Dallas going strong. And it's got people there in day 3, 4, 5, there right through to last night, all up at Infowars.com. Videos, Occupy the Fed, Dallas going strong in Dallas, Texas, following Alex's rally last week at the Federal Reserve. The movement to draw attention to the cartel of private bankers fraudulently masquerading as a federal agency is going strong. I probably need to add to this article that, hey, you know, I've called for people to continue to protest Federal Reserve locations, to continue. Because now more than ever, we've, got to try to go to Occupy Wall Street and say, hey, would you like to go after who actually did this economically? Would you actually like to get out of this? Or do you just want to get conned and pay trillions more in VAT taxes like Herman Cain wants and George Soros and Warren Buffett want and Bill Gates wants to the Federal Reserve? Because that's what the very same ECB, European Central Bank in Europe, same shareholders is setting up there to rape people. And they just dispensed with it's for the poor. They're like, we run things, we're holding you financially hostage, we control your finance ministers, we're doing it. Shut up, we have troops standing by with machine guns. And if you don't go along with us, it's over. So, again, talking to all the folks that are out there, I want to make it clear. We're going to be talking to Adam Kokesh about it in a moment, but it is essential. Who knows, I'll probably, I've just got to pick a time to drive to Dallas and join people. As I said, if people stayed there and it was good numbers, I would go up there, that I would at least send to reporters. It's just then I start thinking about how much more good I can do doing the radio, doing the TV. And I've also got some other things I want to do on the road. But they're just doing an incredible job up there. So please get to the Dallas Fed. If you can just stay 24 hours, that's great. Or if you get a motel for a couple days and stay there when you can. The power of people out there with signs freaks out these globalists. They know every demonstrator represents 1,000 to 10,000 people, depending on which actuary they look at. Especially for conservative, constitutional, libertarian types. They know that those statistically are not the types that are joiners or protesters. They know that. They know once you blow your top, you do a 1776. We've got to not let the George Soros people take over opposition to government corruption and corporate corruption and then call for exactly what the globalists want. Also on this video page, somebody's posted, I guess American Phoenix 57 has posted a lot of quotes that, by the way, I do know are from the actual publications because I've vetted these very quotes before. Here's a quote of the day. We are likely to do better by building our house of world order from the bottom up rather than from the top down. An end run around national sovereignty, eroding it piece by piece, is likely to get us to world order faster than the old-fashioned assault. I think he misquoted. It's old-fashioned frontal assault. Richard N. Gardner, CFR member and former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for International Organization, Foreign Affairs Quarterly, CFR magazine, April '74. A decade ago or so, I actually bought that Foreign Affairs bi-monthly book. I think I paid like $20 for it. You can buy them at bookstores every 2 months when they come out. But I actually sent off and bought the copy of where they say that. That's who runs our country. A bunch of corporate crooks. I'll read some more quotes.
A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Alex Jones here with vital information concerning our nation's fragile food supply. Folks, there are some truly dangerous trends forming, and I think it's important for my listeners to do 3 things right away. Number 1, study the past. History really does repeat itself. Number 2, learn to spot the dangerous food shortage trends. Number 3, take decisive action. A perfect storm is brewing for a global food crisis. That's why I'm telling everyone to read the new book, Rising Prices, Empty Shelves. Warning signs that trigger the deadliest famines in history. Don't get caught unprepared when the crisis hits. This book is only available at risingpricesemptyshelves.com. You'll also get a free copy of Supermarket Survival, How to Cut Your Grocery Bills in Half. Again, that website is risingpricesemptyshelves.com. That's risingpricesemptyshelves.com. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
We have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
Okay, coming up, Lord Christopher Monckton is joining us at the bottom of the hour to talk about huge developments in Europe. John Major, the former British Prime Minister, has come out and admitted that part of the Maastricht Treaty that brought England into the euro exempted the city of London itself, just like the Vatican, from the EU, and that this new super Europe being set up in a financial bankster takeover will actually get rid of the sovereignty of even the city of London. And he's saying instead of that, they should basically demand a vote and either get out of the euro entirely, because now it's going to be German and Vatican dominated. That's what Tony Blair's run over to Europe and been involved in all of this, and that the city of London will lose its power and it'll move to Frankfurt. And that's what's happening. You've got inner globalist fighting going on. I've got it in the Daily Mail. I've got it in Financial Times of London. Golden chance to win power back from EU. Financial Times of London. Reclaim power from EU, says Major. But again, hidden in here, it admits all the world government stuff. Sir John Major on Telegraph, Britain should negotiate for a looser form of Europe. And he gets into the inside baseball of the Maastricht Treaty. This is just incredible. They're talking about the euro completely collapsing within a month if they don't get all these new powers. That's a bunch of bull. They're just holding people hostage. That is all coming up today. And then we've got a fella involved with KRS-One, who we've had on the show and going to get back on. And, of course, Immoral Technique and others. They're announcing a big national tour by hip-hop artists, predominantly black folks, for Ron Paul. This is big news. And so I want to get behind this and support it. Very exciting. Shattering the left-right paradigm, shattering the racial divide. It's all about liberty. It's about what's in your heart, what's in your mind, not about what color your skin is. And, by the way, we've confirmed in San Antonio and in other cities from my reporters, but also echoed by our listeners, that people show up and Move On comes in, George Soros groups, SEIC, SEIU, all those different stupid unions, the service unions, they come in there and they create racial division. They create, they bring it up. They inject it. Then they say, no Ron Paul. Matt Medina's confirmed it in San Antonio. They tell them, no Ron Paul signs. Darren McBreen, our reporter, has confirmed. His son was out at the Occupy Wall Street here in Austin yesterday. They said, do not bring your Ron Paul sign here. We're confirming this nationwide. They're telling people the Federal Reserve is good, leave it alone. The Federal Reserve is the inside crony anti-capitalist. They're called crony capitalists, but they're not capitalists. The crony monopoly mafia men that have taken over our country, bankrupted it, and that masquerade as a federal agency. Now, a few weeks ago, a week and a half ago, it was the top drudge link, biggest link you can get on the internet. And I mean, that's exciting as it exposed the early on attempt to co-opt Occupy Wall Street. We documented the Democratic-affiliated groups months ago called for an Occupy Wall Street movement coming up in October, just like the Soviet October Revolution. And they want collectivism, like Michael Moore, the guy worth hundreds of millions, says, get rid of capitalism. That means your private property. They want higher taxes, something the big banks want, because they end up getting most of it in bailout money. They want VAT and sales tax, what Herman Cain's promoting. In Europe, they're promoting expansions of that to pay off the derivatives debt we don't owe. So we're at this point now. Will the bankers be able to con people into going along with their next phase of tyranny? And that you now have Occupy Wall Street marching to the Koch brothers and five other, including Rupert Murdoch, Republican billionaires. So again, the message is Republicans are bad, money is bad, not corrupt groups with government getting taxpayer money. That's what's bankrupting us. The globalists are purposely destroying our sovereignty to bring in this world government. I mean, John Major has come out and warned England is about to, the UK is about to completely lose all its sovereignty. That's coming up with Lord Monckton in about 20 minutes from now. But I want to go to Adam Kokesh joining us via video Skype, because we wrote an article about them coming up and saying, we want authoritarianism, we want the power of the state, we want to shut down freedom, basically. We're authoritarian. People say, well, that's out of context. Well, I'm getting that all over the country now. Okay? Now we've got a new video he shot. Occupy agitators attempt to ban First Amendment. Foul-mouthed collectivists don't want their creepy consensus meetings being filmed. Paul Joseph Watson at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. And it's got in it the video that we can't play here like the other one. That's so foul-mouthed, so gibbering that we can't play it. But you can go watch it if you want. But this is a family show. Plus, we're on AM and FM under FCC rules. But the gibbering person and others are saying you're not going to film our event. And so to break this down is Adam Kokesh. So, boy, this sounds like Quartzsite, Arizona, where they try to ban free speech. I mean, this doesn't sound like the super democracy people, Adam.
Alex, hey, thank you so much for having me on and for getting to the heart of what's really at these occupation movements, because the core rallying cry is the 99% versus the 1%. And a lot of libertarians hear that, and a lot of people like you and me who have our worldview, we hear that and they go, yeah, that's right. There's that 1% that is super rich. And a lot of them are benefiting because of bailouts, because of handouts, because of corporatism, because of the Federal Reserve System, because of what our government is doing. But there is a fundamental flaw here. And it's not just that this movement is being co-opted by liberal establishment leadership. It's more than that. This movement is fundamentally statist at its heart, because it is not saying, let's look at the moochers versus the producers, the people versus